It's Murphy, Sam, and Jody after the show.
You know, I think I may have messed myself up by giving you this present the other day, Murphy. So we did this in the show and told you about it today, that I went to an estate sale with my friend Jerry Ann. Mm-hmm. She loves to go to them. She has her own online business where she buys old stuff and then sells it. Mm-hmm. Like when we were at this estate sale, she bought a typewriter. She made sure it worked, typed a few words, and she bought it for like $15. She will then turn around and sell that thing for $80 or $100 because she knows what it's worth.
Man, somebody that is a markup of 500%.
Yeah, and that's what she said. Anyway, it may take a year to sell it, so it's not like
right.
But anyway, so she was like, we don't see each other enough, and so I was like, yeah, I'll go. Especially when I saw the address, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to that one. Anyway, so we were leaving the estate sale. I had bought nothing. And I just enjoyed looking around. I had looked at so many pretty, cool old, like Japanese tea sets, the real ones, you know.
As opposed to?
Well, I don't know. Not
the ones
Americanized tea sets.
Well, because remember, they had the ones made in Japan. They had ones that are made in occupied Japan.
They had some
Phoebe's
of those.
all into that, isn't she?
Yeah, and there was I even told Jerry, I said, if Phoebe had come, she'd slept late that day. I said, if Phoebe had come, she'd want that.
Yeah.
I pointed at it. But anyway, we were leaving and we're walking through the kitchen, and this was the house of someone who had been, involved in culinary and a chef for a time.
What?
And, yeah.
Oh, man.
It was a pretty impressive assortment of stuff in the kitchen, and I saw a French press and it was a bigger one than we've seen. Like I've seen smallish ones that would make a cup for two. This was a bigger one.
It makes like 4 cups.
It makes like 4, and it looked really clean. And I Googled it, like I Googled the brand, and it was like it came up European made and
fancy.
It was a good brand. And I Googled the price of it, and the price would have been about $40, and they were asking $15 for it. So I'm like, God, I really wanted to get a French press for Murphy for Christmas, and I wanted to get it, in the real box, first time, brand new.
Right.
So I kind of shot myself in the foot because that was my Christmas idea for you.
So why did you decide to give it early?
Because it was $15, and it was right now. So
Look,
I really want you to know that was my idea for Christmas, because we've been kind
I'm
of
fine with that.
We'd gone to a friend's house a couple weeks ago after dinner, and they made a French press coffee for us, and Murphy was just drooling watching it.
Well, it's good. I've always loved the flavor of it, and I told you earlier in the show about having the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. Which is, there's a lot of stuff that they do that they've been doing for 60, 70 years. They serve French pressed coffee there. You can order it.
They do it right in front of you, right? Or no?
Well, they do it at the bar. Maybe I should have looked to see what they were putting in it.
French pressed Irish coffee.
They do it, at the bar, and then they bring it to you. It's pressed and ready to pour.
It's so delicious. And Chad, you explained it's because the oils. It's better than filtering coffee.
Yeah, when you make it with a traditional coffee maker, you put in that paper filter.
Right.
And a lot of the oils that give coffee its distinctive flavor get filtered out by that. And I got weaned into French press. Whenever I make coffee at home, I'm making French press coffee. Like, that's how I do it. But before I started doing that, my sister introduced me to a mesh filter. It's reusable that you can put in a traditional coffee maker. And it's a less intrusive paper filter. So it gives you more of that French press flavor through a traditional coffee maker.
You know what's weird about that? I bought a mesh filter one time, but I wasn't thinking about preserving oils. I just thought it was, wow, this is an investment because I won't waste money on paper filters anymore.
Really? Paper filters that you get like $200 for $1?
I know. It was a money thing, but maybe I should have paid attention to the flavor.
Mr. Thrifty.
Right.
Anyway, that really was my gift idea for you. And I'm glad you have it now, and I'm glad I got to experience it early. And I love getting a bargain. There's a rush that's associated with a good bargain to me.
Yeah. And it's funny. That's not the kind of gift I would have necessarily picked out for myself if it hadn't been something that I enjoyed,
I know.
Yeah. So does that mean Murphy doesn't get another gift this year?
Of course he does. He's Murphy. It just makes it hard
for me. There's an estate
sale
sale this weekend.
It just makes it hard for me. No, I want to give you something new that you're not expecting, and yada, yada, yada.
Well, if you find something in an estate sale that's cool, that wouldn't bother me. It's not going to be like, oh, great, somebody else had this for Christmas before. It's not,
I don't want to do that.
That's not the way that I would take it.
I don't want to do that. There were albums at this estate sale. You know me.
Vinyl?
Yeah, vinyl. And I looked at them. I thought I was going to call you and say, do you want to come, or do you want me to look through these for you? But it was all classical, which I know you like, but I didn't know if you needed that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't need to bring a bunch of stuff into our house that we don't need.
Yeah.
We will use the French press. In fact, I'd like some later.
Yeah, that's my one downside to getting used to drinking fresh pressed coffee is I quickly got spoiled.
Yeah, other coffee.
I have a regular cup of coffee, and I'm just like, ugh.
Well, and it's not fast. You know what I mean? There's K-cup, and then there's French press, which are almost like polar opposites of each other.
You press it yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
But you just can't press it fast?
Yeah.
Like a plunger?
Ideally, you're supposed to wait about like 5 minutes before you plunge it, quote unquote. It's very similar to the process of seeping tea.
Yeah. Or steeping tea.
Steeping.
Steeping.
Right. Yeah.
Seeping tea is when it's a cracked cup.
Yeah.
It seeps out the side.
So and I forgot to tell you this during the show because this is funny. So I Googled the right way to do French strip, and French dip's a sandwich. Never mind. With gravy on
We're
the side.
We're seeping tea and drinking French dips.
French press, right. So, you heat the water up to just before it boils. It's not supposed to be boiling water when you pour it in. It's supposed to be around 175, 180 degrees, which I just had to guestimate.
Yeah, stuck your finger in and said, yep, that's about it.
Right. So, almost to a boil, let it sit for a second, then I poured it and did what Chad said, 4 to 5 minutes, and then you just push the plunger down kind of slowly because you don't want it to all fly out of your pot. You push it to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then, for me, the naysayer in me was like, well, there are going to be a few grounds that float around this filter. It didn't. None of the grounds get out. It's great. But when I Googled this, so, Jodi always says that, the Google Assistant is always listening no matter what.
Yeah.
When I typed in the words, how to.
It knew it.
It said French press coffee.
Yeah, because it was.
I didn't even type an F. I mean, I typed how to, and it was the first thing that came up.
I know.
Huh.
I know.
So you must be right about that.
I know I'm right about it. It's not a person listening, and then but it's just the whatever the
AI,
the robot. Anyway, but I do want to say, even though you got yours the back way, the back door way. Here's
the back door.
Whatever. I didn't buy it brand new and wrap it and put a bow on it.
It's perfect.
It is. I want to say it's only September, but if you're the kind of person who's thinking ahead for Christmas, I think a coffee lover who doesn't have their own French press would love it. Mm-hmm. It's a good gift idea.
Yeah.
It's
but
affordable.
You've got to be almost not an aficionado, but you have to be somebody that really appreciates it if that's where you're going to go.
That's what I'm saying, a real coffee lover.
I don't mean a coffee snob, but I mean, somebody else is going to be like, oh, great, so you boiled water and poured it on the grounds. Yes, that's exactly
you got to squeeze it yourself.
Yeah.
No, but when you give it, you explain. Look, we are a nation of, if not foodies, wannabe foodies. It's true. You watch Food Network twice a week and you think, oh, wow.
Do they have
Let me get fancy in the kitchen. So I think it's a good gift.
I don't have people at these estate sales that explain things like this was used by the chef and he bought this from.
No, not that I've been
like
at.
a story behind each piece. There's
Wow, you know what?
that
That's a good idea. You probably don't have a whole lot of time to do that between the time that, what happens that leads to the estate sale, the reason for it, you know what I mean? And then the time
you'd have to meet with the family to get all the. I tell you what, this estate sale had. There was a baby grand piano.
Yeah.
There were chandeliers for sale, and there was a pulpit.
A pulpit?
There was and it was
really?
real wood and had crosses on it. It was beautiful.
Is this a preaching chef?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Wow, you should. That would be fun to have in the living room. You know what I mean? It's kind of
if you're my papa.
All right, family.
Hey, there you go.
He doesn't need one. Of course, you think I didn't think of him? When I was a
man,
little girl, I thought he always had a pulpit in front of him.
Well, I mean, he acts like he's in front of the pulpit every day. So you know what I mean.
I know he does.
That would he would love that.
Murphy, how would you have enjoyed that? Jodi calling, hey, can you bring the truck up here? I just bought a pulpit.
Right.
I am not that person. It's so funny. I was telling my friend Jerry Ann that we went together. It's like I am at war with myself about it because I like a clean look in the house and I like things put away. It's ridiculous that I love things. Mm-hmm. It's crazy that I love to go and see and get things because I don't like them out.
You like things that can be put in cabinets.
Yeah, baby.
So,
like the French press.
But I'm liking Sam's idea here. This is probably a pretty good business model for an estate sale because it's almost like being on a museum tour at that point. You know,
because if it has a cool story, that might make you want to buy it even more.
Exactly.
But then you're in a bidding war because if 6 people are standing there listening to the story of the pulpit, then you know what I mean? You browse around. I browse around on my own. I look around at what I want to look at, and that's it. I like the...
Well, but I mean, it could be on a little, 4x6 card.
Yeah, like when we go to those silent auctions, and you bring it up on the app, and it tells you a little story about who donated it, who painted it, who did this, and what's it about.
Okay. Well, you're giving them more work to do. I'll tell you that. I do have a friend who does some of that estate sale work, and it's a lot of work.
You know what? And now that I'm thinking about it, though, now that I've seen, you have a cross section of people who go to estate sales. Some don't care about the story. All they care about is the price. Right. So I mean, and if it's something that they may be able to turn around and resell, and there are a lot of people that do that. Yeah. There are a lot of people that do what your friend Jerry Ann does, and they make pretty good side money with it,
Yeah, you have to have the time.
They call that a side hustle if you're not doing it full time.
Yeah, baby. I love the side hustle. Oh. Man.
This is from the Street Murphy Dictionary.
Yeah, now you shouldn't announce that when you go to an estate sale.
I'm here for my side hustle.
Right.
What's cute about the thing is I can go to one and not buy anything and just enjoy looking around because you just never know what you're going to see. That's the beauty of that and like antique type stores. Mm-hmm. If I go to Target, I know exactly what I'm going to see.
Yeah.
But if I go to an estate sale or an antique type retro vintage place, you just never know what you're going to find. It ends up being a little trip, a little adventure. So I love that. But enter Murphy. The few times he has gone with me, man, he always comes out with something. You can't leave without buying something.
It depends on what it is. I mean, there are things that intrigue me that I know I can't use. Like there was a time I found a 12-foot candle extinguisher, which I guess was used for those really high-up candles.
Or chandelier candles.
Chandelier candles, right, exactly. But I have no purpose for that. But I'm like, wow, that's cool. You don't see these. Why would you need one?
This is why I don't need to go.
A movie company would need it.
Yes.
Downton Abbey would need that.
Yeah.
Well, if there's never a good one, there's another good one near me recently.
A 12-foot candle put her out there. That's a sight gag waiting to happen.
Start that sentence over. If there's another decently good one near me in the future, I will let you know, Sam.
Okay.
Except the two of you, I'm not hanging with you guys at an estate sale.
Well, we were thrown out.